She matched with him on Tinder. He was handsome, successful, charming. His profile said he was Simon Leviev, the son of Lev Leviev, one of the world's wealthiest diamond merchants. Within days, he had flown her on a private jet to Bulgaria. Within weeks, she was in love. Within months, she was $250,000 in debt. And he was already on Tinder again, looking for his next victim. His real name was Shimon Hayut. He was born in Bnei Brak, Israel. He had no connection whatsoever to the Leviev diamond empire. He was not a billionaire. He was not the son of anyone wealthy or powerful. He was a convicted fraudster who had already served time in Finland for defrauding women before his Tinder operation even began. But none of his victims knew that, because Simon Leviev did not just tell women he was rich, he showed them. And that distinction turned an ordinary dating scam into one of the most psychologically sophisticated romance frauds in modern history. The strategy followed a precise architecture. Step 1 was the investment phase. Simon would match with a woman, typically attractive, professionally successful, and emotionally intelligent. Women fully capable of making rational decisions. Then he would overwhelm them with evidence. He was creating a reality that appeared impossible to fake. This is the first psychological principle: reciprocity. When someone gives us an extraordinary experience, we feel an unconscious obligation to give something back. The private jet was not a gift, it was an investment. Long before he ever asked for money, he had already created a psychological debt. Step 2 was the crisis. Weeks or months into the relationship, everything would change. A message would arrive. His enemies had found him. He was being hunted. His financial accounts were compromised. He needed help, just temporarily. And here is where the scheme becomes extraordinarily effective. In the beginning, Simon repaid the money, quickly, without hesitation. Trust deepened. The relationship felt more real. This leads to the second principle: commitment and consistency. If you have trusted someone once and it worked out, trusting them again feels rational. Each successful repayment made the next request easier to accept. Step 3 was escalation. Each crisis became larger, each repayment became slower, until eventually the repayments stopped entirely. By that point, many victims were trapped, not only financially, but emotionally. Walking away meant accepting that the relationship itself may never have existed, and that is a far more painful loss. Aileen Kuhlman responded differently. When she realized she had been defrauded, she continued the relationship long enough to persuade Simon to send her his designer clothing. She sold them, using the proceeds to reduce her debt. It was a rare moment of the hunter becoming the hunted. The estimated amount Simon extracted globally is approximately $10 million. Shimon Hayut was convicted in Israel in 2019, but served only 5 months. He remained defiant, describing himself as the biggest gentleman in the world. But the story did not end there. In September 2025, Simon Leviev was arrested at Batumi Airport in Georgia following an international warrant. For many victims, it was long-delayed validation. But the psychological question remains: how does a successful person end up in such a trap? The answer is that Simon Leviev never sold an investment opportunity. He sold a relationship. Emotional intimacy disables critical scrutiny. When we believe we are loved, we want to protect that feeling. We will ignore warning signs. We will rationalize contradictions. We will go into debt. Because admitting the truth means accepting that the person we trusted never really existed. Simon Leviev did not simply steal money. He stole the feeling of being chosen. And then he charged people for the privilege. The Tinder Swindler is not a historical case. It is a blueprint, one being used right now. Because the fastest route to someone's bank account is through their heart. Next week on the Criminal Blueprint. She was 22 years old. She dropped out of Stanford. Investors valued her company at $9 billion. The technology did not work, and almost nobody checked. Elizabeth Holmes. How a story became worth more than the truth.